answering.
Joshua, open up! Come on, I said open up!
Name and call sign.
Blue ball. Quick, lock it!
Where's your mask?
Damn zombies!
You aren't going to like this.
There isn't much I like these days.
We're almost out of supplies.
Shit, how long are they gonna last?
1, maybe 2 days if we stretch it.
Didn't you order more?
Yes, damn it. But Amazon no longer guarantees 2 days shipping. It could be there 3 or even 4 days before it gets here.
Well, we can't just waltz into a brick and mortar shop unless we become one of them.
That is not an option. That's not our only problem.
What now?
All communications are down.
What?
Nobody uses the phone to make calls anymore.
Everyone communicates through social media, and we've been banned from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the list goes on.
But we haven't even posted our first episode.
I know. They've really streamlined the process.
Well, what about email?
Email? People only use their email to sign up for social media and to reset their password for their social media.
Damn it! All that leaves us with is BitChute, Odyssey, Rockfin, Skype, Zoom, Telegram, text message, the post office, UPS, FedEx, ham radio, and carrier pigeon.
The options are slim. Wait, did you say ham radio?
I wasn't serious. You need a license for that. Not to mention all the equipment and training.
Shut up for a second, I'm trying to think. Radio. AM radio?
You know only boomers listen to AM radio while they're sitting in their Buicks daydreaming about Woodstock and landing on the moon.
You're right, but we need something.
What about a podcast?
A podcast? Yes, a podcast just might work. Maybe, just maybe we'll be able to find the answers to the questions we've been looking for. But we need to contact the others.
What others?
All we have to go on is their code names. But if we can reach them, then maybe we can reach others. Write these down.
Crow 777. But Crow has 2 R's in it instead of 1.
Interverse, Autodidactic, Tinfoil Hat, Legit Bat, Archaics, Whiskey, Beer, and Conspiracies, FPV Angel, Jeranism, DITRH.
Dearth? Wait, no, it's not dearth. Read it. DITRH.
Salty Cracker, Paul Unslaved, Pockets of the Future, and the Big Bear.
I've actually heard of this Big Bear, and I highly doubt we could have him on. He has a security clearance that's a bit unconventional.
Which is what? Secret? Top secret?
We have to get a clearance with Martin from Rockfin.
Damn, I'll work on finding a back door.
Great, now the Big Bear's gonna make you pay the gay away.
What are you talking about?
We can worry about that later. This list, it's not very long.
That's just a start. If we can reach them, others will come.
Do you think there's any hope?
In the apocalypse, hope is all we have. And high-speed internet.
Or me go first? I guess I'll go first. Hey, hello everybody. My name's Joshua. Yeah.
It's like, I say, well, this is the first time we've done a podcast and the first time we ever tried to do anything. So, this is our first episode. So, welcome to what has been named Trutheater Radio. The name just kind of came to us. It's
first off, you should tell them who you are. I just told them who I am. I'm Joshua.
My name is Jonah. My brother Josh has just introduced himself, and like I said, this is Trutheater Radio, and it's gonna be raw. It's gonna be a little bit off the cuff. Like I said, we're not used to this, but we plan on getting a lot better, and so just stick with us a little bit. So I guess we'll just tell you a little bit about. Let's just start with the name. Do you remember what we were doing when we came out with the name? We were just sitting in my car.
Yeah, we were sitting in your truck, and we were just like, we got to think of a name for this. And then you just came out and said, I got it. Trutheater Radio. And I was like, that's not very exciting. He's like, no, but put it together.
Spell it.
Spell it.
You got to spell it.
Spell it. Truth. And then, but don't add the other th. Add just theater at the end of it. And I was like, that's perfect.
Right.
That's absolutely perfect.
So if you look at it, it's a little bit of a double entendre. So you've got true and theater, and then if you look at it another way, it's also truth eater. So that's actually, I find myself easier to actually spell it and to put it into our URL when you actually say truth eater, because it works better when you're just spelling it. But also, we like to look at ourselves as consumers of truth. So that's what we plan on doing during this podcast, is consuming and eating truth while also creating theater that has a truth spin on it to the best of our ability. This is something that we've been thinking about pretty much our whole lives. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with audio drama, but it's something that we have been avid fans of long before anybody thought it was cool, before anybody knew it was a thing. The only time people ever looked at audio drama was when they would think, oh yeah, like those shows back in the 30s and the 40s when it was before TV. Oh, TV was far superior, because why would you want to sit there and listen to a radio when you can just sit and watch something? Well, we beg to differ, and I highly disagree, and that audio drama is far superior than anything you're going to watch on television, because you literally have endless possibilities, and your imagination is your only limiting factor. If your imagination sucks, maybe audio drama is not your thing. But if you've got a really good imagination, anything is possible, and the scope of how grand the story is as big as you want to make it. And we're not here to dictate to you exactly every detail that's going on during an audio drama. We're here to tell you the story, and you can make it for what it is. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just like, Joan and I, in case you don't know, we're twin brothers, and we've been listening to different oddball radio dramas since we were kids. And I just remember one of our oldest things that we were super into was an album called Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah, I still have it memorized.
Yeah, we had it on. Our dad had it on vinyl, and we would listen to that for hours. Yeah, we could memorize that thing. But then I remember we would find like little tiny things that were kind of like radio drama here and there. We'd listen to the old stuff, like, you know, The Shadow, or, you know, whatever, old Dick Tracy's, and then we would we just wanted something more, and then my brother one time come up to me and he found this thing called Seeing Ear Theater, which was actually put out by the Sci-Fi Channel, which kind of just blew my mind. It was like, good.
I don't even remember how I found it. It was like,
you don't remember how you found it?
I have absolutely no idea. It was on the internet, and I specifically even remember it played off. You could only listen to it on Real Player.
Real Player, right?
I don't know if anybody remembers Real Player. Real Player was
a
one of those old school
WAV file.
Yeah, one of those old ass players that just was on a lot of websites, and you couldn't download them. So I literally took a phone jack and plugged it into the microphone jack and into the headphone jack and let it record itself analog onto my computer, and I recorded all of these because it was the kind of thing I've been waiting my entire life for. I'm like, somebody's coming out with audio drama with like a modern feel to it, and it just blew my mind. And I have most of those episodes memorized because I just listened to them over and over.
Yeah, me
and
too.
over
I
again.
listened to them so many times. I was like, I would show friends. I'd be like, "You gotta listen to this," and they'd be like, "What? We're gonna listen." And then they would listen to like, "This is amazing." But there was, after we exhausted ourselves listening to that, we were just like, okay, but now what else? And then I remember one day in like 2008, I found a website called Darker Projects, and I sent it to Jonah, and he was like, "Oh my God, finally, there's more of it." And then that just kind of spiraled. It just similar to the Truther community. It's like you find one person. It's like you find like a guy like Crow 777, and Crow 777 will lead you to somebody else. It'll lead you to somebody else. The same thing with Radio Drum. You'd find one thing and then would just keep. We found so much more radio drama that was out there that was just incredible, and we just kind of wanted to bring that same idea to a community that, one, is in a world that we live in, is not they're trying to have an agenda with the story. It's just the story just needs to be there, and that's it. Right. And that's what we want. We just want to have the story, but then also mix it in with like good questions, like good what ifs. Like a lot of things we found in like truther communities where they want to ask like the big questions, like what the hell are we doing here? Is the Earth flat or is it not? You know, crazy questions like that, but then mix it in with a story and also create a sense of entertainment, drama, community, comedy. All these are the things that are just, you know.
Yeah, and just to go back, one of the main reasons why it took so long for me to actually find more audio drama was because all I ever knew it by was radio drama. And every time I typed in radio drama, of course, you get the old school radio shows like, you know, Boston Blackie or The Shadow or Philip Marlowe or any number of old school radio shows, which were great. But audio drama has a much more broader scale to it. But the other thing, like just what Josh was saying, is we've been bombarded and our whole lives with entertainment and media that's got some kind of back end agenda to it, and that we never even noticed. And then now that we're adults, we're like, I can't even go back and watch some of the movies that I watched when I was a kid without being like, geez, they were really messing with our heads and we didn't even realize it. And so we wanted to bring something that, because we listen to Truther podcasts all the time, but there doesn't seem to be anything of entertainment for anybody. And if for no other reason, we just love audio drama. And the idea of just making our own was just something that I couldn't pass up the idea to do something like that. And it was just like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
We'll incorporate all of it, and we'll make something that hopefully all of you want to come back and listen to at some point, you know. And it's like what Josh said right before we got on here. It's like this it's going to be a little bit more of a serial podcast where every episode's different. It's not going to be running series. He said it's like the Outer Limits, but we're not trying to control what you see and hear.
Yeah.
You know,
we're not trying to control what you see and hear.
But yeah, that's the basic gist of what we plan on doing for the rest of the show. And we have you've heard the first part of the first episode, and like I said, it's raw. It's going to be raw. It's tingy. It's corny. We're not actors. I'm not an actor. I've never been an actor, and just to be.
Well, you are now.
Well, I am.
Just made one.
I guess I am to an extent. But being a voice actor definitely appeals to me more because, you know, the whole voice for radio, and I'm not even sure the face for radio, and I'm lucky if I've got even a voice for radio. So But we're going to be this is not going to be a me and my brother show. We definitely plan on having as many guests on as we possibly can, but more importantly, we want as many of you to be a part of it as we are going to be a part of it. We're going to be looking for actors. We're going to be looking for writers. Lord knows I can't write everything on this show. We're going to be trying to write them just to keep the show going, but anybody who's got a good story out there that you want to write for the show, we're going to be having anybody who wants to put a story out there. We're going to have you send it to us. We're going to need actors. We can't play all the women roles. We can't play all the old ladies. We can't play all the old men. We can't just play every single part. And if we do, it's going to be a little bit Monty Python-y, and I'm really trying to keep away from that. We want, and not some shows are going to be
just create something Monty Python-y.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just created a word Monty Python-y.
Monty Python-y.
Okay, yeah.
And we, our first reaction was to make some of the episodes trying to make them funny, but we don't want everything to be funny either. We want we're looking for the type of writing that's like, whoa, that really makes me think. Some stuff that really just gets you, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is an insane story, and it's really almost like making me having to analyze my own thought processes or my own views on the world we live in. And one of the things we also plan on doing is talking about different audio dramas that have inspired us in the past that we've absolutely loved. We have tons and tons of shows that we would love to share with everybody out there, just so that you guys can get a feel of what we're going for. And I know most people out there probably heard an audio drama here or there, but I guarantee you there are some out there that you've never heard of before, and it's better than anything you've seen on Netflix.
Byron Chronicles. Leviathan Chronicles.
Byron Chronicles. The list can go on and on and on. The Kingery. There's so many.
Kingery's good, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many freaking, and there's they have different production companies. Like I said, we plan on having all of these, and talking about them, just so that you guys can get introduced into something that that maybe you've never considered adding to your listening repertoire, I guess. But we have. But one of the best things about it is you also can work or do anything else you want while you're listening.
I'm gonna make something of that right now. It's like, if y'all are watching podcasts still, you're lazy. Stop watching podcasts. Stop watching people's face. When you sit there watching people's faces talking, stop doing that. It's stupid. No, seriously, it's freaking stupid. What do you need? You don't even need to see our face. You could never see our faces for the rest of your life. If you never saw it, I'd be fine with that. I don't care. We're here to get the content out. Like, who cares what we look like? If you're going to sit there and watch a YouTube video for 2 hours of people talking in a Zoom meeting, you're just not doing anything.
It's like,
watch some dishes or something.
And let's be honest. How many times have you guys listened to somebody on the radio and then all of a sudden you saw a picture and you're like, oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, right?
I would be no different.
Yeah. Maybe not. I mean, I can't say much for him, but he's speaking for me because I'm his twin brother, so he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, there's gonna be some things. We're gonna be getting a lot of the kinks out. Also, just to warn all you guys, we live right next to a train track. I figure we might just own that.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to constantly avoid the train, it might just become a part of the show, and you guys are just going to have to get used to it.
Get used to the train. The train's not going anywhere.
The train's not going anywhere, at least for a while.
I'll say the train will be here when we're speaking, but if we're recording an actual radio drama, we'll make sure that that's not in there.
Yeah, it's not going to be in the audio. It's not going to be in the audio dramas. We're going to be trying to edit those to the best of our ability. And another thing I'm going to throw out there is maybe somebody out there just really likes recording sound effects and stuff like that. Believe it or not, sound effects cost money. They have free ones out there, but you're just like, I need this sound. I need this specific sound, and I don't have the means to do it. And I'm not paying $30 because some guy ended up taking a shoe and banging it against the wall, and it's like, that's the exact sound I needed. I'll pay $30 for it. Maybe you guys will be like, I could do that, and you just like want to have fun with it, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of opportunity for this show, and a lot of it we cannot hire actors, we can't hire writers. But if you want to showcase...
At least not now.
At least not now.
No.
But if you want to showcase your acting abilities, voice acting abilities, your writing abilities, hell, if you want to be an editor, production, be somebody who's in production who knows a lot about sound design and things like that, and you want to show off what you can do, by all means, get a hold of us, because we're going to be needing all of that. And lastly, I'd say it's as low down and dirty as it is, we are looking for some kind of funding to keep this going. Because I've worked full-time, hard-ass jobs my entire life, and I still currently am. I've done everything from cleaning toilets to installing toilets to digging ditches and passing out in those ditches after I'm freaking done digging it. So, let me tell you, I am blue-collar through and through, and I'm kind of tired of it, but I'm willing to do it for as long as I have to, in order to do something that I believe is not only been lacking in the podcast world, but also something that I could see myself loving to do, and ultimately just being a part of the community, because I see everybody out there being in podcasts, talking to each other. Oh, this guy's talking to this guy. Oh, I love this guy's content. This guy, any number of people, and I'm just like, I don't look at them as celebrities. I just want to be able to talk to them. That's really what I think what at the beginning of this all started off with, was like me and my brother were just like, I want to start a podcast just so I can talk to some of these people, because I got questions that nobody's asking, and it's I just want to be a part of that. That goes back, and not to keep you guys too much longer, but we want to emphasize one other thing that we're going to try to do that's different in this podcast than just about every other podcast.
Well, before you go into that, let me explain. Basically, what my brother Jonah is saying is that we want to bring something that's so unique and so valuable and so entertaining and so something that you've never experienced before, especially amongst which we consider a very niche community, that you will want to support us. It's like, we're not asking for your money. We want to bring you something that's so unique, but we also want to bring you in that's also so exciting and so that you want to be a part of, because it's fun, it's entertaining, it's educational, and often can be spiritually uplifting. And that's what we want to bring to something like this. And so we want to earn that what we're asking, not because
we want to be having it to where we want you to be able to hear your name at the end of an audio drama.
Right.
Say, this part was played by whoever. We want to hear your name. This episode was written by whoever. I don't want it to be our name all the time. I want it to be, you guys are a part of it, and we're just the medium. We're just the conduit for us to all create something. But again, what I was getting back to was, one of the things is we definitely plan on having is as many guests on here as possible. And one thing, if you have made it this far in the podcast community, you know pretty dang well that there are lots of guests that when you've listened to them, you've heard them say the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, oh, well, tell us how you got into whatever topic you're into. And you have to listen to that for 20 minutes. We are going to make it a point that when we have a guest on, we're going to be like, if you haven't heard of this person, go to our website, watch all the shit that they've put out there, then come back and listen to it. It's called podcast for a reason, which I believe means play on demand. And you come back and then listen to our interview. We're not going to go through this guy's entire life story for 45 minutes that you've heard 10 times before we get into the nitty gritty of what they came here to talk about.
I know, it's so annoying. I'm over that. It's like, this isn't radio over the airwaves. Like, you can go back and listen to anything you want.
Yeah, and we plan on having it every episode. We're gonna have show notes where it's like, here's a list of everything this guy has done. Go back and watch that stuff or listen to that stuff. Then come back to this episode and listen to what he's saying, and that way you might be a little bit more in the know. But a lot of you might have already been have heard of the guests that we're having on, and we plan on going that next step further with talking to them about certain things that we're like, I got questions about this stuff that you've never addressed. Why? Because the 2 hours is up already and nobody can get to it. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, think of our show as hour 3.
Yeah, hour 3.
It's like, that's our show, hour 3.
Maybe we should have just named our podcast Hour 3.
Yeah, hour 3. That actually wouldn't have been a bad idea. But yeah, maybe that could be a sister podcast.
Yeah.
Call it Hour 3. Patent pending, trademark pending.
Trademark pending. Yeah.
So, but anyways, like I said, this is our first episode. I don't even know how the recording's going to turn out, y'all. This recording of this one's probably might suck royally, and you might have to like just go through it and just be like, man, they really suck at this audio stuff. But send us we're gonna have a website. Go to our website, send us an email, and be like, hey, I can make that better for you. Again, it's all part of being in the community.
Or you could be like, just you suck. And be like, that's cool.
That's cool too.
Whatever.
But send me money and tell me I suck.
As you've already heard from the original radio jump you heard at the intro, is that we've already been canceled. So screw you.
Yeah, we've already been canceled.
We've already been canceled.
In fact, this isn't even a podcast. This is a mail order CD in the mail. Go, send us your email address via post office, and we're gonna go back to Netflix before it became online. We're gonna be like the Netflix of podcasting. Put it on a CD. It comes in an envelope. You listen to it. Send it back to us. Write us a little note. What do you thought?
For any of those people who are retarded, that's a joke. We're not going in a CD.
Yet.
Okay. Yet. So, we're not going to CD yet.
So, but anyways, well, I guess that's our first episode, and thanks for listening, and we'll see y'all next time. And like, we don't know how often we're getting episodes out. It's all going to depend on how many ditches I got to dig before I can start doing this full time.
Well, we're just gonna crush it. We're gonna make it awesome. So yeah. It doesn't matter.
So, anyways, thank y'all. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Trutheater Radio or trutheaterradio.com.
Ciao.
See ya. Oh, what now? Okay, Steve, you got this. I know the boss said no more guaranteed 2-day shipping, but I say screw that. I didn't come to work for Amazon to show up 3 or even 4 days later. No, today is the day 2, and Trutheater Radio is going to get their package. All right? This is for you, Jeff Bezos. Hey! Back up! Back up! Out of my way! 6 feet social distancing! 6 feet social distancing! Amazon delivery!
Name and call sign.
What?
Check the special instructions.
Oh, yeah! Come on, Steve, you're dropping the ball.
That's just the call sign.
I'm looking. Come on, where is it? Hey, what do you think you're doing? Stay back. I don't want one. I have a medical condition. I said I have a medical condition.
Just leave it by the door.
The Apocalypse Has High-Speed Internet was written, directed, and produced by Joshua and Jonah Earl of Trutheater Radio. All characters performed by Joshua and Jonah Earl. Intro music by freestockmusic.com. Tragedy is a Alex production and is promoted by freestockmusic.com. Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 Unported license. Emotional by Baradine is promoted by freestockmusic.com and is under Creative Commons Attribution-ShareAlike 3.0 Unported license. This has been a Trutheater Radio production. Copyright 2022 Trutheater Radio.